You felt it before you could name it. Something shifted at work. The room got quiet in a different way. Meetings you used to be in, you're not in anymore. And the voice in the back of your head starts low at first, then louder. Am I about to lose my job? And then one day it wasn't a voice anymore. It was real. I got laid off. And then I got laid off again. But then something clicked. And that click changed everything. So why should you listen to me? Well, I'm Monica. I'm 55. I've been about 30 years in big tech. I was laid off twice, back to back in as many years. And I want to be really clear before we go any further. I am not scared. And I don't mean that fake it till you make it garbage. I mean, I'm actually okay for real this time if it does happen again. I'm a completely different person than the Monica I used to be who went through the first one. Because this time I know what to do. I pulled a plan together, I'm taking control, and the first time I was shell-shocked on my back. And I know a lot of my peers, maybe a lot of you, who are going through this and they're feeling a little inertia going on, feeling a little frozen, not exactly sure where to start, and running the same old playbooks, trying to find new employment. But for me, I feel okay because I've strategized everything. How to get a job, what about the bills, finding a job I actually want rather than a job I just need. All of it. Gamed it out in advance. And that's exactly what this video is about. Let me show you what I mean. So at some point between the first tornado, layoff number 1, and the second one, layoff number 2, I realized something, and something kind of clicked. And fear is gone, and the anxiety is gone, and I'm thankful for that. But not because I've got this all figured out, but because the imposter syndrome finally left the building. The question was never my performance, my value. I deserved to be where I was. What changed was it's the market. It's corporate America. It's their priorities. Tech being exactly what tech has always been, volatile, unsentimental, completely indifferent to your loyalty or your track record. That didn't happen because of me. And if you're sitting there convinced it happened because of you, that you weren't good enough or smart enough, didn't work hard enough, that's the imposter syndrome talking, and it's lying to you. It's not because of you either. The moment that it really landed for me, and I mean when I really kind of came to the realization, I started to take control. I started playing offense, and I can tell you, it's so much better over here. So let me tell you what that actually looks like. Now, fair warning, one of these involves mozzarella cheese, and I'm completely serious about that. And one of them could save you thousands of dollars that most people just leave on the table. So let's get into it. The first thing that goes through my head is interviews right now. So I am going to continue to interview. I am going to continue, God forbid if I do get laid off. I'm going to just, look for more employment to replace the employment I have now. But it'll be different this time. Specifically, it's how I'm going about it completely differently. The spray and pray in the past nearly broke me. When I was unemployed before, going, on any interview, recruiters would approach me. I would go on the interview just thinking, well, you know what? I could use the practice. And I mean, newsflash, Monica, you don't have a job. So who are you to say no, and potentially turn down an opportunity for employment? But, I'm not going to be doing that this time. I have worked for some of the best companies in the world, the bigs, and that's my track record. So this time it's going to be selective, strategic, only going after roles because I'm a strong fit and it's where I actually want to work. Because when you interview from a place of options instead of panic, you're a completely different person walking into that room with a hiring manager. You don't have to take that job. And you know what? You are not going to rise and fall because of what corporate America can tell you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Okay, Monica, I love it, but we've got bills, we've got mortgages, kids in car payments, all of that. Can we afford to be selective? And I totally hear you, and I'm not ignoring that. In fact, I've got something specific coming up later in this video that addresses that exactly, and it's a sequence. And if you get it right, it can mean more actual money in your pocket. But so stay with me. You're going to want to hear me on that one. But this brings me back to the interview strategy, because visibility and how you show up are two sides of the same coin. So let me tell you exactly what I mean. LinkedIn is not a resume parking lot anymore. The algorithm has changed completely. I did a whole video on this. Check it out. It's about, it's called LinkedIn changed their algorithm, and it's called 360 Brew. And what I found out is that one small shift in how you approach, showing up on LinkedIn can surface unposted jobs, fractional work consulting opportunities you might never find. But the key thing specifically, like right now I'm employed, and so, I'm using LinkedIn and I'm actively on LinkedIn. But this time, if I do, have to look for new employment, I'm going to start to post videos on LinkedIn. That's not something that I'm doing right now. Right now I am engaging, but if I become a free agent, then my LinkedIn strategy is going to change, and it's going to involve videos. And then also, I'm going to amp up the volume on YouTube at the same time. So look for me to a lot more videos. I'll have more time to do it. I love my YouTube channel. I'll be doing that. But specifically, I'll be adding LinkedIn to the mix and going max, full throttle on both platforms. That's going to be a legit change from the past 2 times I was laid off. So YouTube generally will build my audience. LinkedIn builds visibility, and that's how you get discovered, and I'm not leaving either one on the table. Now, the next one, my attitude has completely changed. Something I used to resist, but not anymore. I'm thinking about getting a part-time job immediately. No hesitation. So during one of my layoffs, I kind of told myself, I don't need that. Something's going to come through. There was something about working in, retail or having to get a part-time job that was just like, this reality is a little bit too, hey, this is a little bit rougher than I wanted it to be. And I resisted it. But not this time, because this one reason, health insurance. And the bottom line is, Cobra's expensive. We're over 50, and a lot of us were on medication. We have doctors, and health insurance is not an optional thing for us. And I've already identified where I want to work, and candidly, it's Apple. I did another video on that. Apple will give you health insurance coverage even with part-time hours. And the reason why I think that this is important and you need to do this kind of right away if you do, find yourself unemployed, is because it can take even a lot of time to get a part-time job. The market's brutal. Part-time job or not, the market is brutal. So start applying now before you need it. Now, people think about this next one, but they don't think about it the way I do. And my version involves pizza. Basically, the bottom line is a lot of people think about side hustles. And they look at DoorDash and Uber and all that kind of stuff. No. I am going to be my own side hustle, and you can be your own side hustle too. Essentially, my attitude with this is, there's a lot of money out there, and your job is just to go and get it. So my plan is I'm going to, throw pizza parties. Dough Monica Media started with me making bread and making pizza dough and things like that. And I've done this before for my friends. And, basically I charge $60 a head. I'll come to your house. I will, cater a pizza party for you. I make the pizzas live in the kitchen, toppings, dough, sauce, everything. And, I've done it for my friends because we all enjoy it. I've even had a condo association ask me to come and teach them how to make, pizza dough and do that for them. And so the bottom line is it's already there. I just really need to get serious about it. And you need to get serious about it too. So I would like you to encourage, there's really 2 things to this. First of all, what do you do? What skills, services, goods, knowledge, what do people ask you about? And, how do you help people? And that's your side hustle. But so it involves that. and it involves, going direct to the market. Again, go get that money. That money's out there for all of us. Let's just go get it. No DoorDash taking a chunk of the, a cut of the pay. No Uber, none of that stuff. Just make your own side hustle. That's part of my plan. The second thing, and this is very important, and I want you to hear this, it's going to take courage. Now, I know it might sound a little silly, but, it's a little bit scary, even if it's just something small, to put yourself out there and the overwhelm of it all. It's going to take courage. Like, is somebody going to pay me? Do I have a market? Feeling like a fool, feeling like you don't know what you're doing. I totally get that, and I understand that. And I'm not saying that I don't have that too, because I probably do, or I do, But I think that what's important is that you, however big or small, is that you execute on it. Or at least part of the 5 things that we're talking about in this video today that go through my head. This is something that I've gamed out and is an option for me. And if you even take one of these things away, maybe you take being your own side hustle away from this video. But I want to recognize that it will take courage. I also want to recognize and encourage you, because courage, it's the virtue upon which all other virtues are built. Bottom line is, if you kind of dive in and, take control and be your own side hustle, you don't know what's going to come from it. And you don't know what adjacent gifts you're going to get from it. One of them could potentially be confidence. So aside from maybe a couple of bucks or whatever it is, you don't know what other things you may reap when you plant that seed. So that's something definitely I'm going to do. Okay, so and now I talked about the sequence. This is the one that I really want you to pay attention to. And yes, this is the part that I promised earlier, the one about the mortgage and the bills. So here it is. Getting tactical here, guys. So here's the sequence. If you do get laid off, first thing you're going to do is you are going to negotiate a severance. I would highly encourage you not to sign the first document that they present to you. The second thing is, you need to be documenting, and you negotiate that severance, and you negotiate it because you have documentation. So while you're still working, be documenting. And heads up, you guys, if you'd like me to do a video on that, drop a comment. I think the documentation, negotiating a severance, this piece of it could really be its own video. I'd love to do that for you. I have been through this. I kind of think I might be able to be helpful there. So that's the first thing, severance documentation. You're going to negotiate for the best walking away package, the best bye-bye that you can get from your employer. Now, the second thing is unemployment. You're going to file for that right away. The reason is, and again, I'm an old pro, fortunately or unfortunately, I happen to know this. I've been through this, it's not my first rodeo. You need to understand what's going on in your state. Some states have certain document requirements, and some states also, there might be like a lag time or a waiting period, and we want to have that money coming in as soon as possible. We want no gaps in checks coming in. So the minute you get laid off, get on that unemployment, start filing, for it, and just get on it. Don't let it lapse. Now, the third thing that you need to do, or be aware of at the very, very least, is the rule of 55. So for those of us, this is just a lever that you can pull. If you didn't know this is federal government. Essentially what it means, if you are 55 years or older and you leave your job, whether you leave on your own or you are, laid off or what have you, you can actually start to take withdrawals from your 401k without having to pay the 10% penalty. So you need to know about this. Again, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. But it's been on my mind. It's a lever that I can pull. I just happen to know that it's there, and I want all of you guys to know that it's there. I didn't really realize, I just turned 55. That's the first thing. The second thing is, by the way, if you're a federal worker, it's 50. So you can start to take advantage of that option at age 50. Bottom line is, know about it. It might be something that can help you. Again, mortgage, bills, car payments, kids. Totally get it. So rule of 55, potentially, a great option. Now this one, This is another thing, and I've done this before, but if you're still employed and you've got that sinking feeling and that really subtle shift at work, I would highly encourage you, if you're in the position, is, go get a HELOC. I like HELOCs over home equity loans. It's a line of credit. But secure that now. The reason is it's there if you need it. The reason I say this is because a lot of my friends and people that I know who are unemployed, it's longer and longer and longer, the time frame between when they lost their job and find a new job. It's 9 months, a year and a half. And you just want to be able to, have every kind of situation gamed out and an option for every kind of situation that may arise. God forbid if you do, get laid off or what have you. So that's something I have exercised that, but you should be doing that now. Now, the other thing is, and this has to do with the sequence. If you do the side hustle, and a lot of people are thinking about, to hell with corporate America and kind of thinking about starting their own gig, do it. I'm all for it. And it's something that's bouncing around in my head too. But it's very important, the sequence. If you need an LLC, do not do the LLC until after your unemployment runs out. It's just a strategic move. And the reason is, I believe in the state of Illinois, and again, I've checked into it, so we're specific and we're tactical here. In the state of Illinois, I don't believe that you can collect unemployment if you have an active LLC. So my thought process, my strategy is, hey, if and when this does happen, and we're ready for anything at this point at age 55 and being a big tech worker, that's something that I will do, but I will do it strategically and specifically and in a very exact sequence. Now, let me bring this video home. You guys, I'm not telling everybody that I have this whole thing figured out and this is like a foolproof plan. That's not what I'm doing. I'm telling you, this from having been through the tornado twice. And what I want you to take from this video isn't a checklist. I am hoping that you go on the offense for your own life. Nothing will change you more than living through a few career storms. Some people are calling it a career collapse. I'm talking tornadoes, and I wouldn't wish them on anybody. But I also cannot pretend I'm not a completely different person on the other side of them. The anxiety didn't make me stronger. The clarity did. The moment I stopped thinking this was about me and started seeing it as a market problem, and the market shift and we live in a changing world, then everything changed. And the moment I started to say, hey, what am I going to do if this happens? What am I going to do if that happens? Because, it's just me. I'm not married, I am my own safety net. So, my rise or fall, survival or not survival is on me. And I suspect it's probably on a lot of you guys too. So just when you get ahead of it and you feel like, hey, I'm ready for it, it's confidence. It's going to calm the anxiety, calm the panic, and take some of the control of your life back. Any of this hits home with any of you guys, please drop a comment. I would love to hear your, is this something that you're going through? Have you guys thought about, tell me where you are in this process. I have a feeling there's a lot of people that, we're not alone. And by the way, if you want me to go deep on the severance negotiation, how to document, drop a comment or just, let me know and I will go ahead and do that. But, Doe Monica Media channel, that's what this is about. So come along with me and I'll see you in the next video.